Tails. Tails is called. Oops. Heads, your choice. Receive. Okay, good match. Yeah.
Two great athletes plying their trade.
Incredible athleticism from both players. Murray does really well, hustles, gets the ball back in court. All credit to Monfils, didn't panic, really cool under pressure.
A little too casual, Murray pays the price. Magnifique from the Frenchman. The coach wants more, and I'm sure Gael will want to deliver. He's delivered here in the opening set. He's won at 6-2.
There's the break. Nothing on that approach at all. Much better set of tennis from Murray. Cut out the unforced errors. The forehand worked well, especially when he was under pressure on serve, when he needed to save break points. And he served exceptionally well. That's a magnificent shot, reading the game so well.
We've seen that time and time again, the change up from Monfils. Murray looks comfy in the rally, then all of a sudden, it's that acceleration.
Oh, you can't believe Monfils almost fell over there on the volley. The point was there to be won.
Definitely, if he hadn't fallen over, the volley was going away, wasn't it? And that would have given him match points.
It's a ridiculous combination of shots, really. Match point, Monfils. He's done it! The very first time in the tournament's 25-year history that two Frenchmen will grace the semi-finals. Gael did the business earlier today, and Gael Monfils has backed up his fellow countrymen quite brilliantly this evening and defeated the third seed from Britain, Andy Murray, in 3 sets. And Monfils looks full of running, doesn't he? And he's going to want to go deeper still in this particular event. So winner tonight in 3 sets, 6-2, 2-6, 6-3.
Well, that certainly was a spectacular win for Monfils yesterday over Andy Murray. And I tell you what, would have been extra incentive if Laudra had been able to pull it out a little earlier. against Soderling. But I guess, Chris, that means the weight of expectation now is on Monfils' shoulders. But I think in reality, the chances of him getting the win over Federer are probably very small, if we're brutally honest.
It's small, but he's in Paris, isn't he? With the crowd behind him as well. I mean, I've been impressed the way he's improved as every match has gone on this week. And you know, if you think back to last year, having got to the final, I think it's going to be tough for him to sort of maintain that sort of standard. And I've been really impressed that he's been able to do it.
Yeah, because he started off slow this week, didn't he?
Yeah, against Benjamin Becker, didn't he? Really struggled in the first set points down, but found a way to get through that match. And even if you're not playing badly, you've got to find a way. And next match you get better and better, and he's been a great exponent of that this week.
He's going to need to bring his very best tennis to the centre court if he wants to beat Federer, because Roger has been back to his very best. He's really enjoying the speed of the court, and in fact he's almost looked unplayable in the first 3 matches that he's contested so far here in Bercy. The match against Gael was an absolute exhibition of attacking tennis in a similar sort of scenario when he took off Stepanek. Nod's had a couple of chances in the second set, but again, Federer was just a little too good. Never easy when you go into a match with a head-to-head record like Monfils has against Federer. 5-0 down. Always a huge mental advantage for a player like Federer. But I guess the fact that Monfils has played him a couple of times, the intimidation factor won't be as high, will it?
No, it won't. I mean, he'll know all about playing Federer. I think the other interesting point is they haven't played this year, and no doubt Monfils has played some good tennis this year. He's improved a lot, so maybe he comes into this match with a little bit more belief than he has done on the previous occasions.
Yeah, it's a fair comment. It's been a pretty darn good run-in for Federer at the tail end of the season. Winning in Stockholm, winning in Basel. He's loving the indoor conditions, and based on how well he's played this week, it will be tough to bet against him getting the better of the Frenchman. But stranger things have happened in sport. I'm sure Federer will want to add this one Masters that's missing from his finals haul to the other 8 that he has. Remember, this is the only one he hasn't made the finals in. He's been able to at least win most. For those he hasn't won, he's been in the final of every other Masters 1000 event. Only Paris missing. So if any additional incentive were needed for Federer, we have it right there. And of course, the chance to be able to win tomorrow, to tie Rafael Nadal with 18 Masters 1000 crowns. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We've got to take business here, take care of business here first. One of the greatest athletes of the modern game is Monfils. Today, his athletic prowess is going to have to be at its very best. It'll be interesting to see if that match against Murray has taken a lot out of him or not. I think the start's going to be important. He hasn't started particularly well in his matches this week, and you can't allow Federer that luxury. He excelled at this event last year. The run through to the finals was spectacular. But speaking of spectacular, this man's tennis this week has been out of this world. Roger is looking razor sharp.
Good afternoon. Okay, gentlemen, just some reminders. If you're
Fergus Murphy, the man in the
quick
middle.
and clear, and TV changeovers. Everything else is the same. Any questions? Need anything? Roger. You go.
I go. Okay, heads.
Heads. And you win.
I receive.
Okay, very good.
Well, it's lights, camera, action, folks. Federer and Monfils. I tell you what, they've got a tough act to follow, but if anybody can pull it off, these two guys might. So the winner of this one will take on Robin Soderling. What a match that was. Had to save a couple of match points, 3 if memory serves. And Lodro with a pretty comfortable forehand pass up the line. And that he's going to have sleepless nights about for the next few weeks. Well, Chris, he comes into this one, so much experience at this level. That's why it's so tough to bet against him once again. And I think, you know, you mix that in with how well he's playing. 65 singles titles now. With his win in Basel, Federer became one of a few players to win 9 tournaments on 4 separate occasions. That's quite unbelievable. Currently ranked number 2 in the world. I guess plenty of positives from the tail end of the season, and it'll give him a lot of impetus to practice hard in the off-season and come on firing all cylinders to try and get that number 1 position back from Nadal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it proves to himself as well, and that he's still there, isn't he? I mean, there's certainly question marks over the years, and a lot this year, you know, has he lost it? I hear that all the time. You know, Federer's not playing that well anymore, and the other guys are getting better. And I think what he's proved recently is that he's still right there. It's just, you know, Nadal obviously has been on a different planet this year, and you know, signs of Federer back to his old this week, playing on this sort of surface. And that was really an interesting stat. Of all his 13 service games he's played this week, he's only had to take 2 break points. He hasn't lost a game, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and disposed of all 3 of those guys pretty comfortably, I tell you what. Got us some artistry that we saw at the peak of his powers in 05 and 06 on a regular basis. Well, in his opponent today, he faces a man who much was expected, the top junior in the world back in 2004. And we all thought that we were going to see some more great results from Gael at the beginning of this season, especially off the back of how well he played here in the finals last year. But 3 singles titles, I think, for somebody of his talent and his athletic ability. He should have been able to add a few more. Last one he picked up was in Montpellier a couple of weeks ago. But his current ranking of 14th, done a good job to be able to defend a lot of the points he was able to make here last year, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been really impressed the way he's improved as each match has gone on. And you talk about his ranking. Yes, I agree. he's a player who I feel should have had more titles under his belt, but he's also a player I feel should be inside the top 10 on a constant basis. And you know, there are signs that he's maturing more as a player. I've been impressed with the way he's been a little bit more aggressive this week as well. And I've always thought that maybe in the past he's been a bit too passive, quite prepared to run around all match and just get the ball in court. But I think he's upped his game just at the right time.
He's been well tested this week. Started really poorly against Benjamin Becker. I remember was down 4-love and 5-1 in that opening set before finally coming back to turn things around in straights. Fernando Verdasco, he had to save 2 match points and then had to come back yesterday and do it all over again against Andy Murray, which was an excellent win. Those two contested so many matches as juniors back in 2004. Was, remember, Monfils, who won 3 out of the 4 the junior Grand Slams. Murray, the other one. So bringing their rivalry over to the seniors game, but it's not really a rivalry, is it, when you have a 5-zip head-to-head record against somebody?
No, it's not. It's a bit of a pasting, really, isn't it, rather than rivalry. But as I said, the point I was trying to make earlier was they haven't played this year. And obviously it's in Paris, the crowd are going to be a factor working with Monfils. So maybe today is the day of all days where Monfils could surprise the apple cart.
Yeah, and that's exactly how he's got to have a look at it. You can't really, if you're him, think about their record that you have against Federer. Fergus looking very sharp as he was yesterday. Roger's been serving so well this week. Hitting the spots, variation, a bit of serve and volley, and I think a lot of that's been perhaps prompted by bringing Paul on board. This guy used to serve and volley first serve, second serve, used to chip and charge on first serve, second serve when returning, so he was never afraid to get forward. And Severin Luthi there, Davis Cup captain, often travels with Roger. Used to be one of the best juniors in Switzerland, and so him and Roger, that's how their friendship unfolded. Never went on to anything meaningful in the senior game, did Severin. But he's got a nice role to play now. Not too bad if you can traipse around the world following Roger Federer, is it?
Pretty good lifestyle, isn't it? Well looked after, you know, big events. It's the way to live.
Well, Roger's the one who has to traipse around following Gael Monfils, which certainly provides a few roller coaster rides for the Aussie. But I think if you had said to him at the start of the week, listen, you can sign right now for Gael to be in the semi-finals, I'm sure he would have opted for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much pressure on him this week as well, and all the talk of Davis Cup as well. It's you know, mentally it's a really tough week, so for him to still be competing here in the semis, having got a couple of good wins under his belt, win against Andy Murray, I think they would have taken that at the beginning of the week for sure.
Aussi exempt du premier tour, car tête de série numéro 1. Ensuite éliminé Richard Gasquet, Radek Stepanek et enfin Jürgen Metzer.
Also important for him to give the fans something to cheer early on, just as Lodra was able to do in the previous match. He's got this man to deal with. It's the second of the semi-final matches here at the BNP Paribas Masters. The number 1 seed, Roger Federer, up against the charismatic Frenchman, Gael Monfils. Well, we've all just had about enough time to get our breath back. Chris Wilkinson with me, Rob Koenig. Looking forward to calling this one. If it's half as good as the previous one, we'll be in for a treat.
15 all. Par courtoisie pour les joueurs, n'utilisez pas de flash, s'il vous plaît. Pas de flash, merci. Steady 15. Federer.
Good anticipation from Monfils. Could have done a little more there. Not easy to always outsmart Roger. Gets himself out of a bit of trouble here. Talk about an injection of pace.
Yeah, that's what we've seen so often during the week is that acceleration, the change up.
Regularly over 150 kilometers an hour with his groundies. That one, 152.
Thank you very much. Right on to the second serve.
Oh, that's unbelievable for a return. It's almost as hard as a serve. Monfils with a break point. And the Federer hasn't been broken this week.
The thing is, when you play Federer, you're not sure how many chances you're going to get, so even if it's early doors, you've got to really try and consolidate the chance.
Avantage Monfils.
So another chance here for Monfils early doors.
Very quickly snuffed out.
Federer is trying to reach his 30th career Masters 1000 final. 17 wins, 12 losses. And this year, he's been on the losing end, probably a little more than what he would have liked. He was runner-up in Shanghai to Murray, beat Marty Fish in Cincy, but again a runner-up in Toronto to Murray. And of course to Nadal in Madrid. Well, what he is trying to achieve is to make it to the Masters 1000 final for a 5th time in a row. He's never done that before.
S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, n'utilisez pas de flash. Merci, pas de flash.
This sort of game, I haven't seen him put in all week.
Égalité.
On a 12-match winning streak at the moment, is Federer. At the back of the titles in Stockholm and Basel. He's got a very impressive 42-6 on hard courts since losing in the quarters at Wimbledon. Excuse me, 42-6 on hard courts for the season. Since the quarters of Wimbledon, he's won 29 of 32 matches. He's been in the final of 5 of his 6 tournaments. The only one missing there, of course, the US Open. Of course, he had match points against Novak Djokovic in the semis there.
It's a good ball early on here, Monfils.
Well, the longest game he played yesterday against Meltzer, I think it was a little over 2.5 minutes. This one, I think almost 8 minutes in the making now.
Avantage, Federer.
Oh, it's got to be the longest service game of the week for Federer. According to Rolex, anyway. One love. I guess whenever I see an opening game like that unfold, Chris, I often wonder how often now is Monfils going to get looking at the Federer serve. Often a player can settle after the opening service game, and then once he finds his rhythm, you get no looking.
Yeah, that's a problem. That might be your only chance. I just wonder as well for both these guys, it's difficult coming out here. The match before was very lengthy. Not knowing when you're going to start, they're hanging around and they're sort of getting a little bit brain dead before they come out, and sometimes it does take a while to get those juices flowing.
Installez-vous rapidement, s'il vous plaît.
Ground nicely there, Monfils.
15 love.
Yeah, stood tall and brave. Beautiful pass from the Frenchman. Teasing Federer forward here. Just looking to use his left arm just to guide the ball across. Seen him well over the years.
30-15.
Tough to read where that serve is going. Pretty much hits it from the same ball toss.
That's more like it from Roger. just over 2 minutes, and he leads 2-1.
Prenez vos places rapidement, s'il vous plaît.
Impressive serving early on from the Frenchman. Missed one first serve. Always nice. You get a nice, easy game under your belt. It saves the energy and consider your opponent has just finished serving and they're straight into bat again. Mere 55 seconds for Monfils to hold.
So the first match, serves really did dominate for the most part. It looks like it could be a similar sort of scenario here in this one. Already 8 aces between the two of them. Such a repeatable motion. That's what's so good about Federer's serve. Technically sound.
Okay, another easy hold for Federer. 3-2, he leads. Let's have a look at his path through to the semi-finals. Monfils. Benjamin Becker in the first round. And a tough round against Fernando Verdasco. Came back having saved 2 match points. And obviously last evening, that tough encounter of Andy Murray. And I think it's been good. The fact that he showed some good courage this week. Being mentally tough. And, you know, it's not always going to be showboating. It's not always going to be pretty. A lot of it is how you win and how you get to the finishing line. And certainly Monfils has tried as well as he can to find the way, and he certainly has done.
Well, I think we've got a quick injury timeout here for Monfils. Looks like he's called for the trainer.
Well, previous round he had the trainer on, they were just sorting out blisters on the hand. Had a bit of taping on it. Not as much taping on stage. I was wondering whether he's going to have his fingers taped up.
You can see the tape there on the fingers. So I remember back in the day, Bjorn Borg tape almost 3 or 4 fingers on each hand. Speaking of Borg, one of his rackets from the 1980 Wimbledon final is up for auction. I think today or tomorrow might be the last day you can bid for that. Paul's been busy today. As ATP's physio, it just looks like something's wrong with his neck.
Stepped the wrong way, perhaps. Well, he doesn't seem struggling with his serve, does he? Well, he's been serving really well so far.
We think we might have what the cause of the problem is here. Let's have a look, folks. You can see he's already starting to feel it there. Trying to loosen up the neck a little bit, but perhaps just tweaked it. Need a little bit of the old manipulation. Get a good chiro just to
medical timeout.
click.
Yeah, Roger Rashid, coach, must be a little bit worried, and also maybe the Davis Cup captain, Guy Forget, probably looking down and a little bit concerned if this is any serious bother here.
There's not a whole lot you can do when you tweak your neck like it. Maybe a manipulation. Just crack all the vertebrae, see if you can get the alignment back. Otherwise, just doing what Paul's doing right there. Give it a little massage, try and loosen it up. There we go. And I tell you what, when you get that right, yeah, it's a good feeling when you just hear it all click into place.
Federer just behind us, still loosening up. Wants to keep moving, doesn't want to seize up.
You shouldn't really be allowed to use the match balls to hit serves with, but I guess Fergus is going to let it slide for maybe just 4. Want to live by the letter of the law. So, we're on serve. Federer 3-2.
It'll test this game, won't it? Just to see how it reacts to after the treatment. Convinced he's 100% there.
Gael, 15-7.
He's done well here. Reduce the deficit.
I would say that much. Yes or no?
Just trying to gauge focus whether it was worth a challenge or not, but it was well out. Nicely done. And to continue to serve well today, I think that's going to be key. So right now when he makes that first serve, which he's doing 81% of the time, all but one of those points, so nice start. But second serve, he's 0 for 3, so it's going to be key for Monfils today. Keep firing down those bombs just like he did there.
3 games all.
I love the way Federer moves around the ball.
This is the Federer challenge call. Right center service.
Challenge was immediate. He would have had a good look down that line, that center line, as he followed through on his serve. Yep. Well spotted. Sharp eye. 40-15. Carving out another ace for himself. It'll make 8, and it'll make Severin and Paul pretty happy. Roger leads 4-3. Continues to impress on serve, does the Frenchman. And after the initial neck problems, it looks like it's eased up a bit, and I'm sure it is his. Ouch! That forehand burned through the air. Check this out. 186 kilometers an hour. That one left a vapor trail, folks. Wow. So he's got the top 3 ground strokes as far as speed is concerned this week. He'll always like those kind of numbers, will the charismatic Frenchman. Those are nice numbers to have, Chris, when you're sitting at the dining room table in the evening, aren't you?
I'll be happy to hit my serve that hard.
Ditto that. Well, one time I was playing against this guy, Roger Federer.
Federer challenging the call. Left sideline, ball was told out.
It's tight. Yep, it's got a piece of the line.
They're not quite enough on the approach there from Federer. Monfils just a bit of time there to pick his spot. Yeah, just one from Monfils if the pass was an option as well. Going to hit the lob, make sure he hit plenty of height. Don't have to go long and too short.
Federer challenging the call, right baseline, ball was called in.
Well, he's 2 out of 2 so far, is Roger. And he's now 3 out of 3. A couple of hometown calls, but Roger Federer's just making doubly sure with the boys in Hawkeye. 5-4 he leads. It's day 6 of a live coverage here from the BNP Paribas Masters, the last of the Masters 1000 events of the season. As far as the regular tournaments are concerned, we head over to the Barclays World Tour Finals in 8 days' time for the top 8 players in the world to go at it. Still need to decide a champion here first of all. Federer, of course, will be there.
Well, that neck problem seems to have evaporated.
Couldn't resist it, could he?
Match partout, 5 games all.
Trying to emulate to what Federer was able to do at the US Open this year. He won the point, but not in a stylish fashion as Roger. Then again, it's not easy.
Gael, 15.
Serves dominating. First 11 games, 6-5, Roger leads.
Well, so far, Monfils. Can he do it? He's serving to stay in the set. And that first serve percentage very healthy indeed, just over 80%. That's only the first point. Second point was lost on that first serve.
Impressive numbers, I tell you what. Pretty good at getting the big first serves back in play. We've seen him do it so effectively against Roddick in the past. All big servers in our sport. So struggling a little bit here today against the Frenchman. So a lot of the sets today following a similar sort of pattern. First and the third sets of the previous match went to breakers. The second one almost did. So the third breaker in 4 sets. Good eye.
1-0, Federer.
And the Frenchman continues to impress on serve.
Monfils.
Double figures as far as the aces are concerned for Federer.
Yeah, that really did shoot through. A little time to adjust there from Monfils. Always nice to change ends in the break of that little cushion of a lead.
Beautiful one-strike tennis from Roger.
5-3, Federer.
Yeah, quality of the serve allows him to dictate that second ball.
Well, she wanted to hang on to that one. Made its way back onto centre court. No, it hasn't. She's going to try and just sneak that one into the pocket. tell you what.
5-all.
This is a fantastic opportunity now for Monfils, just 2 points away. Can produce another one of those big first serves. He's looking good here. Can you believe it? That's the kind of shot you'd expect Monfils to play.
Yeah, very strange shot selection from the master.
6-5. Monfils.
Had as much conviction in his shots compared to the other matches this week.
He hasn't dropped a set all week, has Federer. Facing a set point here.
Somehow you had a feeling that was coming.
6-all.
Oh, we can't have seen it all before. Strange that he's trying to play a drop shot given how well he's been attacking this week, how much he's been coming in at such a crucial juncture there in the set at 5-all. That's a great thing about Roger, doesn't really let him bother him. Cracks on with it.
Yeah, that's more like it. Taking the ball on this occasion.
7-6. Federer.
So Federer with a set point. Monfils gives him the same treatment. Quite a clean ace, but as good as. 7-all. That's what I mean, Chris. He's there with time. Putting a lot of returns back in play today.
Yes, doesn't seem to be timing it as he has been.
Still find time to crack a smile. What do we have here? Gael Monfils wraps up the opening set. 54 minutes. He's won at 7-6. Well, in the previous 13 sets that these guys have contested, Federer had won 12 of them. Monfils has done really well here. Big match. And he's got 1 foot in the finals.
Count second.
I tell you what, he keeps serving that well.
15 love.
Going to give Roger all kinds of problems. But that's the key. He's got to maintain that level now. Better.
Count out. 15 all.
Steady 15.
Count 10.
14-15.
Count
14-15.
Never a dull moment when he's playing. Oh, it's been an impressive performance so far from Monfils, but
First 10, second set.
okay. Federer's perhaps only got himself to blame for getting himself in this sticky situation. Have a look at this TMI. Federer normally so good at putting a lot of returns in play. The grey balls there, those are the unreturned ones, and look how many of them there are. Monfils is getting so many free points on serve. Federer usually so good at nullifying the big servers, but bunting returns back in play. And today he hasn't been able to do that to the extent that we're usually used to seeing from Roger.
Correction. Count 7. 15 love.
Steady 15.
A little change up from Federer there as well. The third volley on the second. But just enough to Monfils off on the return. movement there from Federer. Running forward, having to adjust sideways. Play the smash as well.
Time for a racket change.
Interesting to see Monfils serve volley on the second. Variation there. I'm sure that's going to play into his hands. I'm sure that will help Federer more. Well, he does well there, Monfils. This has played that drop shot. He moves in. Very tough for Federer here to get away from Monfils.
Well, I'm not too sure how to describe that other than a brain cramp. That was 219 kilometers an hour, that second serve. Roger can't believe it. This Roger can't believe his luck. Brilliant response.
Always nice. You can serve your way out of trouble. Been a mixed bag this game, isn't it, Robbie?
Yeah, I was just about to say, Chris, you can't lose focus here. Can't be making any silly shot selections, especially after winning that opening set. He's got the added advantage of serving first here in the second. He's got to make the most of that momentum that you get from winning a set, especially a close one like that first one. shoulders there of Federer just sag, as if to say, what was that? How can I be missing it? Monfils their account, getting up there for Federer now. 81 for Steres for him. Monfils continues to serve this well. He's going to be a thorn in Federer's side, no question about that.
Strange shot selections in the last couple of games from the Frenchman. Strange old match this, Chris. I guess coming off the back of the Roger Soderling. It's a tough act to follow, even though it is Roger Federer. It is. It's, the quality's been as high, is it? It's that sort of shot there. He's so nearly getting at it, isn't he, Roger? But the last moment, he's just missing the crucial shots.
Yep. I'm sure the fans here have expended so much energy in that first match. Taking them a while to get into this one. In all fairness, as Chris is suggesting, the players haven't given him a whole lot of spectacular shots to get fired up about, unlike the first match. It was just sensational.
I think in the first match you had there was more points being won, so it made it a really good spectacle. You feel in this match there's more points being lost. It's both giving each other some unforced errors.
Another quick fire service game. I'll tell you what, Monfils is doing his coach proud. 3-2 he leads.
So what do you put this down to, Robbie? Let's take Federer as an example. He's played faultless tennis all week. Today, it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? He's not the same player. He's not striking it as cleanly. What makes it different from one day to the other?
Yeah, I think it's $1 million question. If I knew the answer to that, I think I'd be a pretty wealthy man, or well sought after coach, Chris. And you know, being a former tennis player, that some days you just wake up and it's not the same. And in fact, over the course of a season, if you're playing 80, 90 matches like Federer is, you're probably only playing your very best tennis in about a dozen of those. It's certainly been the case, I think, this season for Federer. Certainly not the Federer that we saw in 05 and 06, who was bringing home trophies like duty-free gifts from foreign airports. And he's had to work a lot harder for his victories. Today's no exception. We can see he's looking happy at the two there. Again, the forehand letting Roger down. It's been one of the trademarks in this match for him. It's a missed opportunity. Mid-court forehand at 15:30. Federer serve. And that's what happens when you don't latch onto those opportunities. Federer is so quick to shut the door closed.
A lot of movement on that serve, swerving away from the returner.
Again, Federer
Really struggling to come to terms with that serve. I just wonder from a tactical point of view if he's worth possibly altering his position, maybe just step back a little bit, give himself time.
Thought there might be a challenge there, but no. second semi-final, the BNP Paribas Masters. Sensational win for Robin Sutherland with Mikael Laudrup a little earlier, that one going the distance. Tiebreaker in the third, Laudrup having match points. And an upset on the cards here. Gael Monfils trying to redress the balance. He's been playing well, serving particularly well thus far. No question Federer's been off colour. The forehand in particular has let him down today. He's not returning as well as what we're used to seeing Federer return, especially when coming up against a big server. Beautiful shot. Didn't have a lot of court to work with there.
The problem with Federer here, once he let it bounce, it was always going to shoot off the surface. Could this be the moment where Federer pounces, goes up the gears?
Finally, a clean hit on the return.
Yeah, that's a risk beforehand from Monfils. Challenging the call.
Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Roger, what's the question? That time I I didn't hear you after. I am listening.
Well, for the first time, Hawkeye, Federer. A bit of a clash there. Fergus Murphy trying to get in the middle of it.
Monfils challenging the goal left centre service line. Goal was called for.
Oh, he's just missed it.
10 seconds.
Well, the serve has been outstanding in this match so far for the Frenchman. He finds himself just one game away.
Yeah, if you look at some of the stats with Monfils is serving at the moment, he's making 71% first serves during the course of the match. And when that first serve's gone in, he's only lost 4 points. Very impressive.
Serving to stay in the match is Federer now.
Gael. 15.
Almost like he's immune to any pressure. 15th ace of the match for Federer. 11 for Monfils. Federer hitting a personal best 18 aces in a 2-set match yesterday against Meltzer. Previous best was 17 against Robin Soderling.
Yeah, that's more like it. Much better on the forehand.
Yeah, gets the elevation right this time.
And also getting those feet in the right position. Yeah, sensible shot from Monfils. Had a feeling there he's going to go for maybe a cheeky drop shot.
Yeah, he played some outrageous drop shots against Fernando Verdasco at the most inopportune times. Almost cost him the match there.
And again, sensible tennis. Nothing too complicated. First serve, followed up with a big forehand.
Federer just can't get enough depth on that backhand chip return today. All bouncing short, middle of the box.
He's misfiring on that forehand today.
We've seen in the past, Chris, when he has struggled, it's that forehand that's been all over the shop. Monfils is not going to be fooled by any chip and charge tactics. He's in complete control of the situation here. 6-5, he leads second set. Welcome back. Federer's fans will be sitting on the edge of their seats because for a second time he's having to serve to stay in the match. Faultless last time round. See what he's got in store for us.
Gael, 15 love.
Nicely knifed away the volley.
Well, neither player's been broken on the match so far, which means we're heading for another tiebreaker. Remember, the opening match had 2, and this one's got 2. So in the last 5 sets played, we've had 4 tiebreakers here on centre court today. And this is when your game comes under the microscope.
Yeah, risky serve to go for. Paying the price there, Monfils. Coach is thinking, what's he doing?
himself into too much of a corner there, did Monfils. And Federer was quick to pounce.
2-0. Federer.
Good combinations there from Federer. Backhand down the line. Really was the weapon.
3-1. Federer.
Let's second service.
Couple of much better returns in this breaker.
Gael, 4-1. Federer.
He's upped it for sure in this breakup.
Monfils also helping him out but not making enough good first serves. 4-1 here. Can't allow Federer any breathing room.
Well, in the first set breaker, Federer did lead 4-2. I thought 5-1 too much for Monfils to pull back. Momentum truly with Federer. 7-1-9 of the last 10 points.
Well, it's Roger Federer with a handful of set points. Great return. Well, you can't take him with you. So I think Monfils just wants to make sure here at the tail end of set number 2. Well in. So Federer wraps up the opening second, the second set. 7 games to 6.
7 games to 6.
Well, once again, there's so little to choose between the two players. Really coming down to the tiebreakers, who's playing them the best, and Monfils obviously came out top in the first, and Federer just up this game in the second. Just felt when it mattered, most importantly, Monfils started getting a little bit down on his first serve percentage, which allowed Federer just to get into the returns a little bit more. And you see there on the second serve points won, Monfils only winning 41% of the points, compared to Federer, who's getting 75% of the points. So Federer finding a way to get through that second set.
So Roger Federer, I think, has just nipped off for a bathroom break. Whatever happens now, I know it's just one set to go. We've had non-stop action since 2 o'clock today. 5 sets being played, 4 of them have been tiebreakers. The other one was a 7-5, so the fans certainly have had their money's worth today. I'm sure the Swiss fans will be feeling a little bit better about themselves now. Never lost faith.
Final set. Federer.
So one more set for a place in the final to take on Robin Soderling.
Count 7. 15 love.
aggressive stance as Federer here in the third set in the first game. Similar sort of scenario to what he was able to do in the second set tiebreaker, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. You do feel that Federer upped his game in that set 2 tiebreaker. If you compare that to how Monfils' rally hit point in the opening, well, in the whole of the match, he was getting forwards much more. But in the tiebreaker, you just felt that Federer upped it a little bit and then pushed Monfils further back behind the baseline, and that didn't allow the Frenchman to dictate as much as he has been during the whole match.
And if you remember, didn't make enough first serves as well in that second set tiebreaker, Monfils. Had to do a lot more defending than what he would have liked. Exactly what we were highlighting.
Gael, 15 all.
Yeah, much more aggression there from Federer. You see Monfils here behind the baseline, not able to get a good hit in on the rally.
Let's commence.
There's early signs here in the final set. Federer starting to read the serve.
Once again, Federer's been able to put a few more returns in play, and as a result of that, Monfils hasn't been able to dictate so much of the front foot. Need to go for a little too much. So Federer, the breakpoint opportunity here. Kind of tennis from Federer that we've seen all week. We've been wondering where it's been. And it's taken us a lot of games to see it here in the second semi-final. 28th game, one of Federer's best.
First round.
Much more clinical now from Federer.
Gael, 15 long.
Wow, that's a big swing. That 20 of the last 24 points.
Monfils now has to try and find a way. And try and work his way back into this match. Otherwise, the set could go very quickly.
Well, it looks like Federer's finally got a stranglehold on this match. He's wrestled the momentum away from Monfils, and I think perhaps broken the spirit of the Frenchman. Three love. It's just the one break, but it feels like more Federer's in complete control here.
Number 15. Mr. Monfils challenging on the service line. Ball is called. Seconds.
Got away with it, Monfils. Thought initially it was the wrong shot. It had to be good.
Monfils has 2 challenges remaining. Let's commence.
going to be an uphill battle from here on in for Gael. Federer's only lost 1 point on serve. It's in the deciding set, of course. Just starting to wonder if Monfils is running out of gas. So some tough matches coming into the semi. Federer's got him where he wants him.
Yeah, the French fans somehow have to try and get Monfils back up on his feet and get some of his shots working. Monfils certainly is struggling now in this final set. He's played a lot of tennis this week, not only from a physical point of view, but mentally he must be feeling pretty drained. You know, the whole atmosphere here and the pressure on him and talk of Davis Cup. That's not easy.
Chris, have you seen enough from the French boys this week to definitively say Monfils and Lodra are going to play in the singles in Serbia?
Absolutely. I think they've done themselves proud this week and showed that they can play in a big environment. The second time he's come to the net in this set and won both of them.
Two things have stood out for me as far as Federer's performance this evening, returning as well as he has previously this week. The forehand's been a bit hot and cold.
He's been more effective Monfils when getting forward, for example, on the last point. He's been able to do that a little bit more on his service, making that transition when you're returning.
Oh, he's left it, it's dropped in. The general rule is when it's 50-50, you've got to play it, haven't you?
Yeah, without doubt, play it. Shame though, Monfils, better point.
Nice tennis, one of the better overs we've seen in a while. Both guys taking it on nice and early. It's better for Monfils, not giving up too much territory, Chris.
Yeah, much better length as well by doing that. It's just keeping Federer back.
Good opportunity for him to come in here with the forehand up the line. A little early on in the points. Wow. Beautiful injection of pace. 171 kilometers an hour. And the upshot of that is he's got a break point. Well, it's the forehand again, troubling Federer. Gael Monfils is the first man to break Federer this week.
Play a different game there, Monfils. Much more aggression. started to unleash the forehand a little more in that last game. Example here, look at the strength through the shot. Elevation, rotation to get the extra power. It's a little bit of wrist action as well.
Tell you what, the guy's an athletic specimen. Dorian Yates, watch out. Well, Chris, is there going to be a last twist in the tail as far as this one is concerned?
Well, for me, that last game was one of the twists. Thought Federer, having had that break, was just going to get through this final set comfortably. But all credit to Monfils. You know, he's upped his game. It looks as though he's running out of ideas. Federer started missing a couple more forehands again in that last game as well, which made a difference. But certainly Monfils, back to some of the aggression he was showing in the first set. Important there that Monfils got close to the net on that first volley.
Yeah, allowed him just to get a little more aggressive with it. Because the moment it gets below the heart of the net, he's volleying up and then he's in trouble. Good to see him keep moving forward. Well, he's got a second win here in the last 10 minutes or so, hasn't he? Plenty of confidence to pull the trigger. Just reeled off a few beautiful winners. Well, this has been an impressive passage of play. Just when I thought he was down and out, he's found another gear. Well, he's just gone from second to fifth in about 10 minutes.
Well, he stopped doing that, didn't he, at the end of the second, beginning of the third? Sometimes happens when you get behind as a player, you just loosen up. Just go for a few more shots. And thankfully for Monfils, they're coming off.
This match just got a whole lot more interesting here in set number 3.
down low enough to the shot. Tough one off the slice, it's shooting through low.
Speedy hold puts the pressure right back on the Frenchman's shoulders.
Federer leads 5-4.
Not what Monfils would have wanted first point up.
Gael, 15 long. Second service.
Second rally in a row where he's got involved in a baseline duel with Monfils. Fairly decent position as well in the rally. I'll be disappointed that he's lost both of them.
Second service.
Federer again just struggling. It's hit deep to that forehand wing.
15-15.
Well, he's done well to hang on to his deal at the tail end of this third set, because the first serve percentage has been low for Monfils, just 38%. He's more than made up for it by being solid from the back of the court. Federer hasn't been able to make that many inroads into his second serve. So new balls.
Count. 15.
That's a great volley. Going back behind Monfils. Down again.
Down, but certainly not out.
Great change up from Monfils. That's the acceleration we're looking for, the aggression that's needed.
30-15.
Make sure he made up the ground there, Federer.
Gael, 15.
No challenge. Federer 6-5, third set. Well, this will be the last time that these two guys sit down, and Cerberoni and Fabrice Santoro, enjoying all the going-ons today. A famous football player from Paris Saint-Germain, Jérôme Rotin. They're ruthless here, I tell you what. It's a cauldron, this place. So can Monfils send us into a third tiebreaker? After a shaky start.
Number 15.
Federer side. Couple of points away now. Strange rally. Federer had a forehand during that point where he just didn't let go, did he?
Yeah, it was almost like the ball bounced a little too close to him. Chris, he couldn't get the feet in the right position. He couldn't pull the trigger like he wanted to do, so he went for the percentage play. Once again, forehand letting him down when it really mattered. That's the shot that's been on fire this week. Produces a moment of Roger magic just at the right time. The Swiss with 2 match points. Frenchman. Federer certainly didn't expect that much purchase on the ball coming back.
They had to be strong there, Monfils.
Second match point. So brave from the Frenchman. He hesitated for a fraction of a second there, Chris.
Yeah, really good intent, even on that forehand, nice and aggressive, kept going forward. Surprised Federer didn't opt for the lob there.
Couldn't agree with you more. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Not a lot you can do about it. He's certainly not playing for it. I mean, the guy's good enough as it is, Chris.
It's ironical, those leg calls just deadened when it dropped, didn't they? They didn't pick it up at all.
Yeah. Feeling the full wrath of this Parisian crowd. Third match point for Federer.
Courageous second serve there for Monfils. Time and time again. He's hit those big serves.
How many times can Monfils save match points? He is right on the edge of the precipice here, folks. For a fourth time now, Federer has match point.
Would have put a lot of money on Federer making that return. Had a better look at the second serve on this occasion as well. The maestro gets edgy.
Federer pouncing. This game almost 7.5 minutes in the making. Monfils hasn't made a single first serve when he's been match point down. And it's Federer with a fifth chance to close this one out. Magic.
Could have easily have choked under this sort of pressure, Monfils. Difficult smash. Really well not to panic.
All the locals wanted to hear. Well up. This has been incredible resilience from the Frenchman. He's fought off 5 match points. He was down a break in this third set. He's got a chance to take us to a third set breaker. He's got a piece of it. Federer wants to make sure We're going to a tiebreaker.
Monfils, he should have 2-6 games on
The second consecutive semi-final. He's going to a breaker. Edge of the seat stuff.
Tough to call her. Monfils working the crowd up to a frenzy.
Well, he spent enough energy, Chris. That's for sure.
Such a great atmosphere.
Merci. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît.
Here we go.
And 1-0.
Federer quick on the draw. Monfils fires one back. No, that's missed by a good margin, that one.
But Monfils did really well though to soak up some of those big shots from Federer.
It's probably a good time to mention that the Frenchman Michael Lodro went down in a third set tiebreaker to Soderling before this one. Surely can't put the French through more pain. Absolute heartbreaker the Lodro loss was for the fans. Two unforced errors from Roger that have missed by a country mile, Chris. Not even close.
Yeah, way out. We've seen that quite often, haven't we, during this match? It's been a strange thing. He's been hitting that shot so well during the week.
Federer challenging the left far sideline.
Oof, I tell you what. He's got to be right here. This is hold your breath stuff. Otherwise he's down 4-1. Good call. Good call, Roger.
3-2. Monfils.
No call from that lady. Federer not happy. Huge risk he had to take there.
Perfect execution from Monfils. Had to be that good.
And it's good to see him taking the tiebreaker to Federer. He's not prepared to sit back and be passive and chase down balls.
4-2. Monfils.
As was in the second set breaker. Certainly learned his lesson. Now going after the shots.
Well, it was a sensational run through to the finals last year. Certainly looking like he might be able to replicate that feat again. crucially changing sides in the lead. A psychological advantage to have as he steps up to the line. Oh, I think he's made it. No. No challenge.
It's all down to margins. So tight, every shot.
4-2 point. We could look back on that one. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. But that's reward. Grinding it back, shoveling whatever it takes to get the ball in the court.
Two service points away, Monfils.
Well, it's all gone horribly wrong in this third set tiebreaker for Federer. Unforced errors leaking all over the place. Monfils with a chance for the biggest win of his career. He's done it! In front of the Paris faithful! He wins a third match in 3 sets, but this one against perhaps the best player on the planet. Just reward for the fans who have stuck around for almost 7 hours today. They watched one of their own go down earlier, 7-6 in the third. But Gael Monfils has saved their day. He's won in 3 sets, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6.
Incredible scene. Federer must be gutted. 5 match points he had. Wasn't able to convert. Struggled with his forehand all match. Wasn't the Federer we've seen in the previous matches. But Monfils, all credit to him. When he was a breakdown in the final set, found a way. Stuck to the task, got an edged ball back. Was a little bit more aggressive when he needs to be. Really good job at turning it around.
Yeah, certainly was a little bit of extra aggression that he was able to find. Certainly made the difference. And I tell you what, we've watched a lot of tennis today. Almost 3 hours here, 3 hours nearly in the previous match. And it just comes down to 1 or 2 points here or there. 125 points for Federer, 121 for Monfils. But it just shows you Monfils was able to win the big points when it really mattered. And therefore he's come out on top. And a bit of redemption for the French fans after Laudra lost 7-6 in the third to Soderling. So there's going to be one Frenchman in the final tomorrow.